start meanwhile. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. Zoom is not there? Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 8, Text 38. Ke Vayam Namarupabhyam Ke Vayam Namarupabhyam Yadubhihi Saha Pandavaha Yadubhi Saha Pandavaha Bhavataha Adarshanam Yarhi Bhavato Darshanam Yarhi Hrishikanam Hrishikanam Iva Ishituhu Hrishikanam Iveshitu Kevayam Nama Rupabhyam Yadubhi Saha Pandavaha Bhavato Darshanam Yarhi Hrishikanam Iveshituhu Kevayam Nama Rupabhyam Yadubhi Saha Pandavaha Bhavato Darshanam Yarhi Hrishikanam Iveshituhu. Kevayam Nama Rupabhyam Yadubhi Saha Pandavaha Bhavato Darshanam Yarhi Hrishikanam Iveshituhu. Kevayam Nama Rupabhyam Yadubhi Saha Pandavaha Bhavato Darshanam Yarhi Hrishikanam Iveshituhu. Mataji. Kevayam Nama Rupabhyam Yadubhi Saha Pandavaha Bhavato Darshanam Yarhi Hrishikanam Iveshituhu. Kevayam Nama Rupabhyam Yadubhi Saha Pandavaha Bhavato Darshanam Yarhi Hrishikanam Iveshituhu. Synonyms. Ke, who are. Vayam, we. Namarupabhyam, without fame and ability. Yadubhihi, with the Yadus. Saha, along with. Pandavaha, and the Pandavas. Bhavataha, your. Adarshanam, absence. Yarhi, as if. Rishikanam, of the senses. Iva, like. Ishituhu, of the living being. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: as the name and fame of a particular body is finished with the disappearance of the living spirit, similarly, if you do not look upon us, all our fame and activities, along with the Pandavas and Yadus, will end at once. Translation with repetition: as the name and fame of a particular body is finished with the disappearance of the living spirit, similarly, if you do not look upon us, all our fame and activities, along with the Pandavas and Yadus, will end at once. Purport. Should I join with audio or without audio? Purport. Kunti Devi is quite aware that the existence of the Pandavas is due to Sri Krishna only. The Pandavas are undoubtedly well established in name and fame and are guided by great King Yudhishthira, who is morality personified, and the Yadus are undoubtedly great allies. But without the guidance of Lord Krishna, all of them are non-entities. As much as the senses of the body are useless without the guidance of consciousness. No one should be proud of his prestige, power, and fame without being guided by the favor of the Supreme Lord. The living entities are always dependent, and the ultimate dependable object is the Lord Himself. We may therefore invent, by our advancement of material knowledge, all sorts of counteracting material resources, but without being guided by the Lord, all such inventions end in fiasco, however strong and stout the reactionary elements may be. Thus ends the wonderful transcendental purport. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin iti namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So today it's a short class because today we have a special program for commemorating the conclusion of Srila Prabhupada Book Distribution Marathon. Srila Prabhupada Book Distribution Marathon ki. Okay, but before we come to that, let us take a quick look at this verse. A very simple, very profound verse with great call to action. It has a very strong call to action. Call to action means, now that you know this, you must do this. That is what call to action means. So it's a very, very direct and simple and profound verse. Let us take a look at this. Kevayam nama rupabhyam yadubhi saha pandavah bhavato adarshanam yarhi rishikanam iveshituhu. So there is a analogy that has been given. Bhavato adarshanam yarhi rishikanam iveshituhu. Just as the senses, Rishika means senses, and therefore one of the names of Lord Krishna as the master of senses is Rishikesha. So Rishikanam ive ishituhu, that is without consciousness. What happens to Rishika? Let's say we have body, senses are there in the body, but there is no consciousness in the body, then those senses are useless. They serve no purpose. Even though the camera in the eye, it continues to work. If you open the eye, maybe some light goes inside. Maybe the eardrum, they continue to receive sound. even if the consciousness has passed away. But what is the use of that? There is no use. There is no use of that eardrum receiving sound, just as when I'm speaking on this table, sound is being received. This table can perceive the sound, right? Because sound is the vibrations are going and hitting this table. The sound vibrations are hitting all the walls of this room. But just like that, the sound will also hit our eardrums. So without the consciousness being inside the body, what is the use of that? And Kunti Maharani is giving this example to illustrate that what happens to the Pandavas, Kunti Maharani herself and the Pandavas, along with the Yadus, what happens to them in the absence of Krishna. If Krishna is not in their life, bhavato adarshanam yarhi. If Krishna, O Lord Krishna, if you are not in our life, then all of us, what value do we have? Kevayam nama rupabhyam. Yes, we have got our name and form, we have got great power, but what is the use of all of that? It will be just as lifeless as the senses are without consciousness. So let us try to see a little bit deeper into what is the implication of understanding this. So I will try to approach this with 5 images, just 5 images. You don't have to remember any quotations, no verses. 5 images. I may say some things, but main thing, please try to recall these 5 images that I'm about to show you. The first image is this. Some of these images are generated by some of the modern AI tools, so there's some little bit of discrepancy may be there. But consider our body, and there is a consciousness in the body. In the absence of that consciousness, the body and all the power that it has got, it is completely useless. So unless the body, which is represented by the skeleton on the left hand side, which is more or less like a robot, although the artificial intelligence thought that that is a representation of a soul, but it's not. The bones and the skeleton that is there, it is more or less a mechanical device, which its body is. And the spirit soul or the consciousness is actually the force and the cognizant being, which is represented by the person on the right, which is actually the spirit soul. So in this image, unless the spirit soul embraces the body, unless the spirit soul is present in the body, that body has no utility. There's no use. No matter how powerful a person may be a great king or a great powerful politician or a celebrity, and he may have his great big entourage, right? When big celebrities come, they are always surrounded by many other persons who are trying to make way for them. They are trying to protect the crowd from them. So you have got great celebrities and personalities who are perhaps surrounded by people, but as soon as the spirit soul or the living force leaves that body, the same set of people who are just protecting that person and going around that person with great reverence, they just move away. They move aside. Nobody wants to be very close to a dead body, right? The dead body is there. There is no respect given to that. Of course, for some social etiquette, for some period of time, people are differential towards a dead body because such a great person was living in their body. But very soon that body is cremated, and either it is burned to ashes or the body is buried in the ground and completely decays. It has no value at all. Nobody has any value. It is said that the value of the body that we have, if you were to actually measure it in terms of the composition of the body, our body has got, what is the composition of the body? Primarily it has got what? Water. Primarily water. So how much ever water is there in this body? If a person's weight is say 150 pounds, then how much weight? 75% of that, maybe 110 pounds, something like that. So that must be around 50 kilograms. So around 50 liters of water. That is more or less one large bucket or 1.5 buckets of water. So how much will you pay for a bucket of non-drinkable water? Nobody is going to drink this water, right? So what is the value of that? Nothing much. That is 75%. And then you have got all these other bones, which is calcium carbonate, which is used for paint, right? So this paint is nothing but calcium carbonate. That is the composition of our bones. And then you have got silicon, which is constituent of mud, the soil that is there. Silica is there in smaller quantity. Then you have got other minerals, iron, right? We have all studied in school hemoglobin. Iron gives the distinctive red color to the hemoglobin pigments. So iron is there. Then we have also heard there are other minerals, zinc, even arsenic. People say arsenic is a poison, but there is arsenic in the body also. If you have more than that, then yes, it will be poison. But some arsenic, zinc, silver, all these things are there, gold. So all these important minerals which are found in the earth, they are also there in our body. But if the spirit soul leaves the body and it's just a dead body, if you sell all these things, how much money will you get? There is not much, hardly anything. And you'll have to spend a lot of money to extract all of that. So actually the value of the body is nothing. That's why people discard the body. Of course it has got full of diseases, so you have to be even more careful. So either it is buried or burnt. So there's not much value to the body. So the first image, remember this as the value of the body is compared to as much as the senses of the body are useless without the guidance of consciousness. Similarly, in the absence of Krishna, Kunti Maharani is saying that we are also lifeless. All our fame, Kevayam Nama Rupa Bhyam, all our fame and name and glories, they are all completely useless. They'll be wiped out. They are non-entities. They are zero without Krishna. Let us go to the next image. This is the image of a forest, thick forest, and hardly light penetrates. And suddenly there are clouds on the top, and through the clouds you can see sunshine. Sunshine is permeating the forest, and then there is life breathes into the forest in the morning as sun rises, and all these the dangerous animals, they all go away, and birds are chirping, and some auspiciousness is created. So this sunshine that is there, consider the source of the sunshine. Is it possible for the sunshine to exist without the sun? Is it possible? It's not possible. Sunshine cannot exist without the sun. So when we see the sunshine, if somebody thinks, oh, all the credit to the sunshine, and what is the use of the sun? Let us get rid of the sun. After all, the useful part is the sunshine. Let me just keep the sunshine, and there is no sun. It is something else, maybe something in the sky. But sunshine and sun are not related. If somebody says like that, does it have any meaning? It does not have any meaning. We all know it's an absurd statement. So we know that sunshine is intricately linked with the sun. There is no meaning to sunshine without the sun. Similarly, if you consider, this analogy is often given to illustrate the principle that the energy of Krishna and Krishna are not different. The energy of Krishna and Krishna are not different. Or rather, the energy of Krishna comes because of Krishna. And when we see the energy of Krishna, we must remember Krishna and acknowledge that this energy is coming because of Krishna. Now Krishna has got two energies. What are the two energies of Krishna? In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that I have got two kinds of energies, inferior energy and superior energy. The inferior energy is the material energy. Bhumir, Apo, Anolo, Vayur, Kham, Mano, Buddhirevacha, Ahankaram, Itiyam, Bhinna, Prakriti, Ashtada. So these are the 8 separated energies of Krishna. That is the inferior energy. But other than that, there is a superior energy of Krishna, and that is a living entity. So just as the sunshine is originating from Krishna and is non-different from Krishna, similarly the living entity is also non-different from Krishna. As long as the sunshine is present, the sun is present. If the sun were not present, the sun's energy would also not be there. So this is what you should remember from second image. Does anyone remember what was the first image? Yeah, what does it say? You were saying something? Oh, that is what she just said. I thought at least she'll change the words. Okay. Um, so this is the second verse, second image. As long as the sunshine is present, the sun is present, and if the sun were not present, the sun's energy would also not be there. So these are quotes taken from the 21st chapter of Queen Kunti, Teachings of Queen Kunti, this book, in which Prabhupada is explaining this verse that we are talking about today. Let us look at the third image. So before we go to that, this is one very important principle that Prabhupada talks about in this verse. Shakti mator abhedaha. Shakti mator abhedaha. Can you all please repeat this? Shakti mator abhedaha. So often we hear Prabhupada using the word non-different, right? So there are two words in Sanskrit which mean the same as that. One is abhinnatvam nama naminaha. You have heard this, right? Abhinnatvam nama namino. So that abhinnatvam is one Sanskrit word which means non-different, and this other word in Sanskrit which also means non-different is abhedaha. And what is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophy called as? Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva. Simultaneous, inconceivably one with and one simultaneously different and non-different, between, that is between what and what? So what are the things that are simultaneously different and non-different? Something that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattvam. So that means something is different and non-different simultaneously. What are those two things? Is it milk and water? Is it maybe onion and garlic? Or what else? What are the other examples? Harmonium and mridanga? What are the things according to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophy? What is simultaneously different and non-different? Yes, that is true. It is no. Abhinnatvam nama naminaha. That is not simultaneously different and non-different. That is non-different only. There is no difference between the Lord and the Lord's name at all. Yes. The living entity and the Supreme Lord. The living entity and the Supreme Lord are non-different and different. So in what way are they non-different? What way are they different? And so qualitatively non-different, quantitatively different. So if you see the example of the sunshine, so sunshine has qualitatively the qualities of the sun. It has light and heat. When the sunshine falls, it becomes hot, right? You keep some time in the sun. What happens? Even if you put your clothes for drying in the sun, if you feel later on, it's hot, correct? So sunshine, even one ray of sunshine, it has got the heat, even though sun is so far away. And the sun rays have to travel such a long distance. When they come and fall on the earth, there is heat. And of course, we see the light outside. So each ray of sunshine has got the heat and the light. But is the power of one ray of sun, one sun ray, does it have the power of the sun in it? The full power of the sun. Is it there? It's not there. So quantitatively, they are not the same. So Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva means that they are qualitatively the same, quantitatively not the same. So this principle of being non-different from the Lord, it is actually there in Brahma Sutra, in Vedanta Sutra, and that is quoted by Prabhupada in this chapter. Shakti mator abhedaha. Shakti means energy. Shakti mator means the possessor of the energy, or energetic. Prabhupada uses the word energetic. Energetic means the person who possesses that energy. So there is energy and the person who possesses the energy. They are not different. Shakti mator abhedaha. So of course, Krishna has two energies. Here the emphasis is on the living entity. But all kinds of energy are not different from Krishna, but particularly living entity is referred to here in Brahma Sutra. Now, when we see the energy of Krishna, we see tremendous force of nature all around us. When there is a atmospheric river is what they call, right? When recently there was some place where heavy downpour was happening, and you could see cars are all in America only. Cars are floating away, completely submerged. And then now recently there is something major, a snowstorm or something is happening in Sierra Nevada. Extreme forces of weather, and then suddenly you will see that in the desert of Arizona in summer it goes to 130, 140 degrees. And if somebody accidentally keeps their car in the sun, inside the car it will become 200 degrees. So that's why like in Massachusetts you don't see a lot of sheds everywhere. But if you go to Arizona, recently I have been going there, even ordinary homes, everybody will have a shed, even if they don't have a garage, because the car becomes so hot that you can't even touch the handle to open the car. It has to be under a shed, under shade of the shed, just at least a roof covering. So when we see this power of nature, it is very tempting to say that all of this is simply nature that's working. It's just mechanical matter that is there, and that's all there is. But what we forget is that behind every source of every display of energy, there is energetic. When there is a compartment of the engine, the compartment of a train that is going in front of you like that, you are very well aware that there is an engine that is pulling it in the front. Without the engine that is pulling it in the front, will the compartment travel? It won't travel. If somebody looks at the compartment and say, such a wonderful work of nature, see, nicely moving compartment, and that is an ignorant person, right? Obviously there is an engine moving in the front, that's how the compartment is moving. So similarly, this entire nature is moving by the force of the energetic, which is Krishna. And because we are such ignorant fools and we keep forgetting this, Krishna appears himself. He personally descends to educate us that I am behind this power. So Krishna says, all this power that you see all around you, it is working under my direction. Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam etunanena kaunteya jagat viparivartate. So all of this energy is moving under Krishna's direction. So including living beings and the non-living beings, everything is working under Krishna. So what was the first image? Somebody else? Anybody else? You already said. Yes, Aryan. Skeleton in the man. But what is the purpose of, what is it saying? What's the message? Without consciousness, the senses are useless. Without consciousness, the senses are useless, which means that a body without life force in the body, right? That's just a dead body. It has got no value. And the only value it has is some few dollars for the water, bucket of water, some calcium carbonate, which is the paint, and some minerals, which is very low value. What was the second image? Sun and the sunshine. And what was the Brahma Sutra quote? Shakti Shakti Matora Bheda. And the third image, I am behind this power. Krishna is saying, he's coming down personally and telling us, I am behind this power. Now, we'll see one simple mathematical equation. X minus k equal to 0. Anybody can translate this into English? Please wait. Yeah? Yes, correct. So x in mathematics usually stands for any variable, anything. Anything can be represented in math as x in algebra. So you take anything, and if you subtract Krishna from that, there is no value to it. It becomes useless. So Prabhupada makes this strong statement, and it is actually Kunti Maharani who is saying it in this prayer itself, That without you, without bhavato adarshanam yarhi, if Krishna was not there in our life, then we are nothing, non-entity. All the fame and glory. And remember, at the time, Pandavas, they had won the war, they had won the battle, and Yudhishthira was the king. And all the kings all over the world, all the entire planet, they were all subservient under Yudhishthira at the time. So under the Pandavas were the kings of the world, and they had powerful allies in the form of Yadus, undefeated. And still, in spite of all of that, if you remove Krishna from the life, Krishna, and because Krishna was going to Dwaraka, Kunti Maharani is feeling like that, feeling separation and saying that. But of course, one minor correction to this, that mathematical mind may go in the direction that if x minus k is 0, does it mean x equal to k? Huh? X is not equal to k, right? So x is not k. Just let's not take the analogy too far. So what it means is that it has got no value. That's what it means. X. That anything you remove, it is like dry. You take sugar cane, remove all the juice from that. What remains, right? Nothing. Prabhu once gave the example of a person in India doing sugar cane juice. They'll take the sugar, put it through the machine, and then juice comes out, and then they'll take out that and again put it through the machine. Then again they take out, again put it through the machine. You take it 7 or 8 times, you'll think that it's all the juice is removed, but juice is still there. They take it out, right? So after all of that, what remains? That sugar cane, which is completely devoid of all the juice. What is the value of nothing? Just thrown away like that, right? So anything without Krishna, the value is 0. So this is image number 4. If we subtract Krishna, everything is 0. What was image number 1? Aryan? No, that you already said, right? Okay, you upgraded it from skeleton in the body, it has come to soul in the body. What is the takeaway from that? The key message of that? Yes, very good, very good. What was number 2? Image number 2. Yes, mother. Sorry? Yeah, what is the message of that? What is the takeaway from that? Yeah, it just says that if there is no sun, there is no sunshine. And what was the Brahma Sutra verse? Shakti, Shaktimator, Abhedaha. Energy and energetic are non-different. Shakti, Shaktimator, Abhedaha. What was image number 3? Mataji's. That is not the text. That is not exactly what the text said. Does anyone remember the exact words of the text? That is the image. What is the text? I am behind this power. I am behind this power. That was the text. Okay. Now I'll show this little bit of cheating. One image has got 3 images. So the first one is an example of a person who sees some money lying on the ground. This is also generated by AI. Some money is lying on the ground, and he picks it up. Arey, nice! Today is my lucky day, and he puts it in the pocket and starts enjoying. So this is one kind of person. Then on the far right, you have a person who sees money on the ground. He says, I don't care about this. I don't need this. Not my money. I don't care what it is. Moves on. So these are 2 kinds of person. There's money on the ground, and one person is taking it for his enjoyment. Second person is ignoring it, saying that I have nothing to do with this. And then there's a third person. The third person, he looks at the money and he says, oh, this money belongs to somebody. It doesn't belong to me, so I should not start enjoying it. But if I ignore it and go away, the person whose money it actually belongs to it will not be of use to that person. I should make this money useful to that person to whom this money actually belongs. So what does he do? He takes that money and returns it to the rightful owner. Prabhupada often gives this example to illustrate 3 kinds of philosophies or bents of mind that people have. The first one is called a bhogi, who takes this energy of Krishna, although all that we see here, as Krishna has said that I am behind this power, so all the energy that we see belongs to Krishna. But he sees that energy of Krishna and he says, oh, this looks like a perfect thing for my enjoyment, and starts utilizing all of Krishna's energy for his own personal enjoyment. Such a person is called bhogi. A bhogi is a person who uses Krishna's energy for his own enjoyment. He's practically stealing Krishna's property for his own enjoyment. Then there is a person who sees, oh, all of this Krishna's energy is there, some energy is there, it doesn't belong to me, so I won't have anything to do with it. And he renounces everything. He just tries to stay. Of course, he cannot renounce. Nobody can truly renounce anything, because the mind cannot be still even for a moment. It's always scheming. What to do next? What to do next? So, but this person who is externally renouncing everything, he is called a tyagi. Bhogi and a tyagi. They often go in cycle. A person who becomes a bhogi, after excessive bhoga, he will say, oh, my weight has crossed 200 pounds. I should stay away. Let me fast for a few days. And then it comes down to 195 pounds. He thinks that, okay, now I can again become bhogi. So this bhogi, tyagi cycle goes on in loop. But there is a third category of person who says that this all energy belongs to Krishna. I must utilize it in the service of Krishna. That person is a bhakta. And Prabhupada says that is what we should be. Because we see that the spirit soul is non-different from Krishna. The spirit soul is in the body, and without that spirit soul, the body is useless. That means the body is actually being animated by Krishna. Therefore, the body belongs to Krishna. All that the body interacts with, everything that is around us, is also the energy of Krishna. And therefore, all this energy belongs to the property of Krishna. The body is the property of Krishna. The energy that we see all around us is the property of Krishna. Therefore, both the body and the surroundings, everything should be utilized to serve Krishna. This is how a bhakta thinks, and this is how we should lead our life. This is the call to action from this verse. I'll read this quote. So today, this image 5, Prabhupada says, this is real service. What is real service? Utilizing our mind, body, and everything that we see around us in service of Krishna. That is real service. I'll stop here with this quote. Prabhupada says, in conclusion of this chapter 21, in teachings of Queen Kunti, forgetting that everything actually belongs to Krishna, I have been given this body, which is a facility for sense gratification. So what he's saying is, I have been given this body for sense gratification because I have forgotten that everything belongs to Krishna. I want to enjoy myself. And for that facilitating that purpose, Krishna has given this body. But that is not correct use of that. But the senses have no value without Krishna. And therefore, the natural conclusion is that the senses belong to Krishna. Therefore, since I have these senses, why not use them for Krishna's satisfaction? That is bhakti. So with this, we'll stop here, and we'll go to the next part of our program, which is the conclusion of Srila Prabhupada book distribution marathon. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Transcendental book distribution ki, Jai Gaur Premanande.